Hello and welcome to the Coach Dave Academy lap guide for week number 3 of the Production Car Sim Lab Challenge here in the MX-5. We are at Charlotte Roval Legacy today, very interesting track, and we're going to go through a few of the pointers in the lap guide, hot lap and lap guide coming up.
You've got the fastest.
Right, here we are for the Charlotte Motor Speedway Road Course lap guide. We're here in our lovely, beautiful MX-5. What a car. And we're going to start our lap. Now, really important, as you can see here, we'll just have a quick look, and I'm sure you saw it on the lap guide, there's no braking boards, there's no markers, so it's going to be really, really important to build up a knowledge of the circuit and kind of take the references that we got. For me, what I was looking for, especially into turn 1, we got this signage on the wall. As soon as we pass that signage, we're starting to think about braking. We're looking at these cones here on the left. Just as we kind of reach that edge of the cone is where we're starting to be able to brake. A note that I'll put in here is it's really important not to try and be a hero. Braking too hard is going to cause you to go straight. Braking too late is going to cause you to have a bad exit. The real important thing here is making sure that we get a really good exit, okay? So we'll have a look at what we do on the board. Bit of hard braking at first. Quite a shallow entry, really. Traditionally, you'd think you'd stay out a bit wider, but I think for the sake of consistency, what I found was just having that little bit of a shallow entry really helped me place the car on the inside, get a nice little bit of a slide on. Not terrible at this sort of angle, not massively optimal, but it's not too bad. Just making sure that car's turning and we're not having too much of that understeer is really important, right? And carrying that really important minimum speed, you know, a minimum 125 kph, whatever that is in miles an hour, something like 70, 80 mile an hour, and just making sure that we're kind of using this additional piece of tarmac here on the inside, not clipping too much of the grass, and carrying that speed on the exit. Very, very easy to drift out into that wall. The next corner we go to is kind of a nothing corner, but just get to the inside as much as possible. Don't go too inside here, because as you can see, try and switch to a camera shot where we can have a little look at it. The camber here is you've got a lot of camber, and then it flattens off a lot, and it actually raises up as we go towards the pit lane. So you can cut a bit of this corner, but going too far on the inside will cause you to slide and lose a little bit of time. But keeping it nice and close to that wall allows you to set yourself up for this next corner. Again, no real references that we have, but we can use these little bits of track areas to get an idea. So we kind of start our turning just after this little road, this access road. We're kind of looking towards these white lines. Again, you can see the camber, little bit of braking, just dance it in, right? Get it nice and working for you. I give it a little bit of a, that's more me trying to blip it down, actually. Blipping it down, and then again, just trying to keep this kind of arc going. We kind of never stop turning in this Mazda. It's kind of like a little bit of a float situation, getting nicely to the outside here, but continuing to turn it. Important to note, going out wide here, this is about as much as you can get away with. Any more than this on the grass, you're going to get an off track. So just be really careful with that. Again, we're kind of aiming for the exits, and as you can see just from this off-board shot to our other shot, a little bit of camber here. Don't cut too much here because it's going to flatten off. you're not going to get the advantage of using the camber through the corner. Once we've done this, we can go along this little straight and head to another tricky section. First actual curb of the lap is here. Do not want to hit it, okay? So we skim this. It's not even a curb, really. It's a bit of asphalt, but we're going to skim it just nice and close. As you can see, I just give it a little tap to it. And then we're kind of braking later than you think, right? And you can still even brake later than I do on this lap. Brake nice and late, getting out towards this sort of gravel track access road, keeping the turning going for our second curb. Maybe you want to readjust with a slight tap of brake. That was me just because I'd gone in a little bit at the wrong angle. Again, not going too wide out here because you're having to make this next corner. Going towards the middle of the track, starting your turn. As we look towards the cockpit, you can see there's a little bit of a camber that we want to use. Clipping it close here. And you can use more of the exit than you think, right? So it's going to be really important to get your confidence to be able to use all of this, right? Because it's very easy to not run out wide and kind of use just a little bit of the circuit. And you're compromising yourself a lot of speed. As you can see, I'm kind of a little bit hesitant on throttle. And then once I know I'm definitely going to make it out, I go to 100%. With practice and confidence and more time in the car, you're going to be able to do that more often. And you're going to be able to get flat out as soon as possible. And probably from this point onwards, that would be optimal. But as we exit here, there's no real discreet way to exit on to the banking. There's no like smooth little bit, so you kind of plunk up the banking a little bit as you change through the gears. There's not much to talk about as we get onto this banking, other than you want to run it as close as possible to this white line. Don't know why we switched to that one, but as close as possible to this white line, and shift pretty late. So shift where the flash is, or just later. Your red line is about 742 220. Something like this, 7420, and you can bring that up by clicking, as default, it's the D key on the dashboard. And if we just jump in the car, you can see that you have this dashboard, and that will give you the ability to look at your red line. It's a little bit higher, but you want to be shifting about mid 7450. But yeah, you can bring it up with the D button on your keyboard. As we head back towards our lap, you can see. Nice and just, I mean, it's the same thing for all. We don't wash out to the wall. Keep nicely towards this inside line. Nice, stable line that you go through here. And then towards the line, just making sure we're not giving up any unnecessary time, cutting it nice and close in the kind of tri-oval area. And then we're kind of aiming the car back towards that Charlotte sign to start another lap to the outside. That's been the lap guide. Very, very tricky to pick out your references and just remember the things we've said and get a good bit of practice in at this track, because it is one of those ones that's just a bit harder to kind of get consistent at. Thank you for watching the lap guide there for the Production Car SimLab Challenge. I've been William Chadwick. You've been watching the Coach Dave Academy YouTube channel. Now remember, the Discord link is below. The setups are on the website that you can get for this week of racing. Remember, those references are really, really important to build in, because we've got no curbs, no clear signage in terms of braking markers. So building up the time on this circuit, getting those references that we talked about in the lap guide, really, really important. Remember though, if you've enjoyed, be sure to subscribe and keep following along with our Coach Dave Academy content and coaching. And it's been a very good lap guide, and until next time, goodbye.